Recently, MCE became the primary electricity provider in Concord, Danville, Martinez, Moraga, Oakley, Pinole, Pittsburgh, San Ramon, and unincorporated Contra Costa County. If you're in these areas, you are automatically opted into MCE. We sat down with MCE's Community Development Manager, Jenna, to answer important questions from the community. So what is MCE?
MCE is a not-for-profit public electricity provider. We've been serving Bay Area communities since 2010, and what we do is we come into a community by vote of the local elected officials, whether that's a city council, town council, or county board of supervisors, and we replace PG&E electric generation on our customers' bills. We got started as a way to address climate-related greenhouse gas emissions from electricity resources, and by offering an alternative for customers, a more renewable choice for their electricity supply, we've been able to do that and bring a lot of other benefits to our member communities as well.
So can you tell me more about how your rates compare to PG&E's rates?
Sure, that's a great question. Rates are one of the things we get asked about the most, and so we always keep rate comparisons on our website. There's a lot of different rates for customers, so what rate you're on is going to affect how you compare to MCE. With the most recent rate change that went into effect on April 1st, our customers are saving between 2 and 5% on our light green service option compared to PG&E's 33% renewable service option. So all rate classes, all customers. It's really important to note that our rates are set generally once a year. It's usually in April, but not always, by our board. So our board goes through a really intensive process to monitor our rates, determine if we can afford to lower them, and we want to make renewable energy affordable for everyone, and the best way to do that is to keep our costs low. The other thing that's important to keep in mind is that PG&E usually changes their rates 3 to 5 times a year. So we try to give customers updated cost comparisons, and we've been really successful with that. And during the majority of our time in operation, we've been less expensive. But it's always a changing game. Numbers change, and we do our best, and our board does our best to make sure that they're as low as possible.
So who sets your rates? You mentioned the board sets your rates. Is that the official who sets the rates?
Our rates are set by our board of directors, and our board of directors is comprised of a group of elected officials from the member communities that we serve. So out here in Oakley, there's the city council, and council member Sue Higgins is actually the representative to MCE's board. So she sits on our board and comes to the board meetings and helps make decisions and guide MCE's policies, including our rates. We do have a rate setting committee, which usually forms every year, and it's kind of ad hoc. So when we need to change our rates, we have volunteers from that board group sit on that committee and look at what are the needs for MCE's communities in terms of adjusting our rates. Maybe we don't need to adjust them, or maybe we need to lower them, or maybe we have a great opportunity to lower them and to make costs even more efficient for our customers.
I have a question about rates and schedules and current PG&E solar customers and future MCE solar customers, and what the rate's going to be for excess production for solar customers.
Sure. So MCE has a pretty generous net energy metering program. So if you're a solar customer, that's what you are automatically enrolled in. You go through the regular process with PG&E of getting your panels interconnected and doing all of that stuff, and you still get your bill from PG&E. The main difference is that we're paying retail plus a penny per kilowatt hour for any excess generation that you have. We also offer customers the opportunity to cash out. So at the end of your year, which MCE does this process in April every year, we take a look at our customers, and if you have more than $100 worth of excess credit, not only do you get to keep it, but you're eligible to cash it out in the form of a check. Next year will be our first year. We are instituting $5,000 caps for customers other than municipal customers or school districts or things like that. It's a really exciting program, and it gives school districts and other facilities that are able to invest in solar an opportunity to make a little bit of money and invest again in their community.
So when we talk about retail rates, what's the current retail rate that MCE is paying plus the penny?
That's a good question. It depends on what rate class you're on. So for the average residential customer, they're going to be on the E1 rate schedule, which would be 6.7 cents a kilowatt hour is what you're being charged for electricity. So you would be making 7.7 cents a kilowatt hour on any excess generation that you have. Solar can be really complicated even without MCE in the mix, which is why we try to make it a little bit easier by offering a couple extra benefits for our customers. But if anyone has questions about how MCE impacts their solar or solar in general, we'd be happy to speak with them. Give us a call or send us an email, and we can help customers identify what's best for them individually, which is really what is necessary for a solar customer.
Absolutely. So you mentioned an exemption for schools. Can you tell me a little bit more about that and how it works, and if there's a cap or not a cap?
Sure. So for schools and municipal accounts, if you have solar and you're generating excess credits, you are eligible to keep them, and there is no cap. One of the reasons that we do this is that these facilities have the opportunity, usually schools, you see that they put these panels on and they need them throughout the school year, but then summer comes around and they don't have as many people around. So they're producing a lot of excess energy. And the really great thing about that is once you get that check in the mail from MCE, a couple years ago, West Contra Costa Unified School District got a check for just around $28,000.
Just around?
Just around. I can't give you exact
check.
numbers, but it's a good check. Mm-hmm. They're able to take that money and use it towards programs for the students or supplies or really anything that they need in the community.
It's almost like lottery money.
A little bit. I mean, it's they've invested in those panels and they're generating excess electricity, and they should get the benefits from that. So it's a program that we're really grateful for. We've had several cities and school districts be able to receive relatively large checks and to use that money in ways that benefit the community directly.
So can you tell me about MCE's current service areas and possibly future service areas?
Sure. MCE started in 2010 up in Marin County. In 2012, we finally served all of Marin County and its communities, and then we've kind of expanded from there. In 2013, Richmond was the first community outside of Marin to join MCE, and since then, we now serve all of Marin County, all of Napa County, Benicia, and then 14 communities in Contra Costa County. So the communities in Contra Costa that we don't currently serve are Brentwood, Antioch, Clayton, Pleasant Hill, Hercules, and Orinda. So 6 communities in Contra Costa County. Everyone else, including those who live in the county itself, are eligible for MCE service. We don't have any plans right at this moment to start service in other communities, but the really cool thing about these programs is that they're really community driven. So there may come a time when the city council or the community is asking for MCE to come in or just to hear a presentation, and we're happy to come out and do that. Since we serve most of Contra Costa, that would probably be for those 6 communities that I just mentioned, as well as any areas in Solano County that might be interested. What is also really cool is because these programs are local, there have been communities all around the Bay Area and all around the state that have been participating in these programs. And so around MCE service area, there are already several other programs operating.
So me as a community member living in Brentwood, what could I do with our community to get MCE in Brentwood?
Sure. The best thing to do is, if you're interested in MCE, is ask your city council to consider the item. Ask them to receive a presentation or put it on the agenda just to discuss and learn about it. We'd be happy to come out and just get engaged in your civic discussion.
So now that I have MCE, what's my new bill going to look like? Do I get a PG&E bill? Do I get an MCE bill? Do I get both?
So billing works the same way it always does. You still get your bill from PG&E, and you still see mostly all of the same charges. You're going to see one additional page that has MCE specific charges, and then you're going to see a couple different line items. But you have always paid PG&E for your delivery service for all of the lines and wires and all of the maintenance that goes along with that, and so you continue to do that. What you see is MCE replaces PG&E electric generation charges. As I mentioned, we're between 2 and 5% less expensive, so a customer will see that our generation charges are going to save them some money. That's really the main difference. For solar customers, it might look a little bit more different, but your bill is still coming from PG&E. You can still pay it the same way that you always do. You still pay for delivery of electricity, and you still pay them for gas.
So all you're doing is providing clean energy, sending it into PG&E's grid. They're sending it to the home and paying for it at a discounted rate through MCE.
Yep, we offer customers a choice for where their electric service comes from. Electricity is one of the markets in California that we haven't really had an opportunity to choose our service provider. I know a lot of people say that they don't have a choice for their cable provider, but you do have a couple. So having options for MCE and PG&E just gives you the opportunity to choose what service is best for you. And if you'd like to remain with PG&E, we make that really easy. You can go on our website, you can give us a call, or you can send us an email. Just let us know that you'd like to opt out, and we can work with you to make that happen. A lot of people have found it really easy to do online. Just type in your PG&E account number, it takes just a minute. But we're really grateful to those customers who choose to stay with MCE service, who choose to participate in those local benefits, and even those who choose to opt up for a couple dollars more a month for the average customer and choose 100% renewable electricity.
So there's a lot of misconception around here of what MCE is going to do. You have to opt out of MCE. Can you clarify that in a little more detail for us?
Sure. MCE, as I mentioned, is a local, not-for-profit public electricity provider. We come in by vote of the local elected officials, and they usually go through a pretty extensive process considering this item and the decision to join. The reason MCE is an opt-out program is actually by California state law. When the legislation was passed back in 2002, they wanted to give these types of programs a fighting chance, and they decided that making them opt out was going to be the best way to do it. Customers still have choice. They can still opt out or they can opt up. So you do have more choices than you had before. But essentially what you're getting is a more local, more locally controlled, more locally focused agency providing more renewable electricity, local economic workforce benefits. So you have more say in your energy choices. And if you're lucky, you get to save a couple dollars on your bill as well. And right now, every customer is saving a little bit extra on their bill with MCE.
And also getting greener energy.
Yep, more renewable, more local, and I think for a lot of customers, it's just the power of choice, being able to say, I like that I can choose MCE in one of their service options, or I don't like that and I really want to stay with PG&E. And that's the benefit of it, is that you don't have to choose MCE, and I know a lot of customers feel that they do, but that's, it is an opt-out and you can exercise your choice at any time.
So what if I've opted out of MCE and now I'm learning more and more about MCE and I want to opt back in? Can I opt in? Is there a process to do? Can you tell me about that?
That's a great question. So for customers who would like to opt back into MCE, the best way to do it is to give us a call or to send us an email. The process is a little bit more complicated to opt back in, depending on when you've opted out. Here in Oakley, most customers will have opted out. If you've opted out at this point, you will have done so before the first 60 days of your service, in which case you're welcome to come back to MCE service almost immediately. It does take a little bit of time for it to go through a billing cycle with PG&E, so it may be a month or so before you actually see that change. However, if you've opted out after the first 60 days of service, PG&E's terms and conditions require that you stay with their service for a year. So you're welcome to come back to MCE service after that point. If you're not sure, if you are one of those customers who's going to have to wait a little bit longer, give us a call and we'll help you figure that out too.
So if you're an MCE customer and your electricity goes out, would I call MCE or PG&E, or who would I call?
You would actually call PG&E the same way that you always have. So PG&E is our partner. They work to maintain the grid, make sure that electricity is reaching your home, that your transformer's working, that everything's going the way that it should. So if the system goes down for whatever reason, maybe it's your neighborhood or maybe it's your whole city, PG&E is the one who are out there on the front lines making sure those issues are repaired and that you have service in your home. So go ahead and give them a call and they'll help you fix those issues.
So I could still log onto my phone, put my address in, it would say, oh, there's an outage in your community affecting 1,100 homes.
Definitely. You can
change.
do that as always.
Perfect. So when we talk about MCE and having green energy and local green energy, how local is our green energy? Is it from our community nearby, or is it on the local California grid?
All of the above. MCE actually, we have a map that is available on our webpage that kind of outlines those 3 levels of what you just asked: the state, kind of nearby, and then local. So we actually consider local any projects within MCE service area. Right now, we have 7 of those projects up and running. Our largest one is MCE Solar 1. It's a 10.5 megawatt project in Richmond. And that was a really big deal. It was a really collaborative partnership between the City of Richmond, the developers, Richmond Build, a workforce agency, and MCE to get that project up and running. So that's what we have right now locally, but we have several more projects coming online through our feed-in tariff program, which offers local developers an incentivized rate for building renewable projects in MCE service area. So we actually have one coming up here in Oakley, and we have a handful more coming up in Napa. So we're really excited about that. We've expanded that program recently so that more developers can take advantage of it. We do have nearby projects, which is within 100 miles of MCE service area. Those are mostly solar, a couple biogas plants, things like that. And then we have within the state. So MCE has contributed over $1.6 billion to new California renewable energy projects through contracting and things like our feed-in tariff program. So we're really committed to getting jobs and stimulating the green collar economy in California. So that's where a lot of our power comes from. We do also purchase renewable contracts and other contracts from kind of the Pacific Northwest area to help diversify and keep our portfolio stable.
So if anybody was looking online for all of this information we talked about, it's a lot of information, where can they go? What's the easiest source for information?
For Contra Costa residents, the best place to go is mcecleanenergy.org/Contra Costa. We have a webpage right up there for you. It's got a lot of kind of overview of a lot of this information. But send us an email, info@mcecleanenergy.org, and we'd be happy to share resources on our webpage with you, help you navigate that. There's a lot on there, and if you're not used to looking at all of this energy stuff, it can be confusing. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to help and answer questions and direct you to the right places if you want to read it all for yourself.
You can also find this information on our website at delssolenergy.com.
One aspect of Del Sol Energy that we're really proud of is many of us were born here, raised here, graduated from local schools, and now we're raising our families in Brentwood and sending our kids to local schools. Because Brentwood has given us so much, we wanted to give back to the communities. And one path we've chosen is through education. For every customer that has an installed system, they can choose who they want to donate a $500 to $750 donation to. It can go to any local school, and it can go to any local nonprofit organization. We'd love to hear from you and answer any questions you might have. Feel free to reach out, whether it's through our website, stopping by the showroom, or through email. We're always here to answer your questions.